Although we might not know or we might not be conscious of these, we as consumers are influenced every day in our buying decision process. There are many aspects and many factors from cultural to social aspects that influence us in buying what we buy, and we will discuss each individual factor. For many years, marketeers have tried to understand and are continuously studying how to control the factors that influence our buying decision behavior. They care to understand our buying behavior and they want to understand how they can manipulate the way we take decisions when buying products so they can use it in their advantage. In this video, we talk about it all. The whole purpose of marketing is to understand consumers. They want to engage them and they want to interfere with the way consumers act and think. In other words, marketeers want to be able to understand how and when consumers buy, and in order to understand that and to influence that, they need to first understand why consumers buy what they buy. In marketing, there are some important concepts that you need to understand in order to become a marketing guru. Well, first of all, in the first phase, you need to understand the marketing process. That is discovering the need, the want, the demand, or the problem that the consumer has in order for you to be able to come up with a product, a service, or the solution to his need to solve his problem. And you can watch that video to understand the marketing process in the info card right here or in the links down in the description. The second phase is to understand the marketplace and the consumer behavior, because you want to be able as a marketeer to come up with a strategy to influence his buying behavior and turn him into a customer. In this video, we're going to look at the entire consumer buying behavior. We're going to discover the factors that influence it, the types of buying behavior, and also the buying decision process. As consumers, we buy things every day, and this is also the main interest point of the marketeers. Well, their challenge comes when they try to understand us, because we differ so much in age, in income and education level and whole other aspects. Therefore, understanding these differences and being able to influence our buying behavior in order to turn us into customers from consumers became the main challenge for the marketeers. This video is the entire chapter review about the consumer buying behavior, and it is an at-length video. If you would like to watch shorter videos, I've created separated ones that you can watch in the info cards right here or also in the links down in the description. You will find shorter videos about the aspects of the buying behavior of the consumer. So the first aspect to understand the buying consumer behavior is to speak the same language. So you will need to learn some key important terms. Consumer buyer behavior is the buying behavior of the final consumers, and those are individuals and households that buy goods and services for personal consumption. Combined, all final consumers make up the consumer market. Therefore, we define consumer market as all the individuals and households that buy or acquire goods and services for personal consumption. The most important questions about consumers' behavior that marketeers try to answer are where they buy, how much they buy, when they buy, and why they buy. If marketeers would have the answers to these questions, they would become capable to create the best marketing strategy and being able to influence us as consumers to buy whatever product or service they come out with. And this is their end goal, being able to understand us so they can influence us in our buying behavior to buy their product. The simplest model to understand the buyer behavior is the stimulus response model, where you have the environment, the black box, and the buyer's response of the consumer. This figure shows the factors that marketeers cannot control but must take into account when they try to answer the questions why do consumers buy what they buy. There are 4 types of factors that we can also see right here. We talk about the cultural, social, personal, and psychological actors and factors that influence the buying decision process and the buying behavior of the consumers. First of all, we will have an overview of all these factors, and after that we will discuss each one individually. The factors that influence the consumer behavior are cultural factors, including culture, subculture, and social class. Social factors, including groups, social networks, family, social roles, and status. Personal factors, including age and life cycle stage, occupation, economic situation, lifestyle, personality, and self-concept. And there are also psychological factors, including motivation, perception, learning, and beliefs and attitudes. Each one of these factors enter what we call the consumer's black box, so they influence the buying decision behavior. This means that they influence how we buy and what we buy, and also when and why we buy what we buy. The third category we will look at are the cultural factors. Culture is the set of basic values, perceptions, wants and behaviors learned by a member of society from family or other important institutions. Every group or society has a culture. Cultural influences that affect the buying behavior from county to county. Marketeers are always trying to spot cultural shifts to discover new products that might be wanted. Subculture is a group of people with shared value systems based on common life experiences and situations. Subcultures include nationalities, religions, racial groups, and geographic regions. Examples of three important subculture groups are Hispanic Americans, African Americans, and Asian American consumers. First, let's talk about the Hispanic American consumers. There are more than 55 million, having a total annual buying power of more than $1.5 trillion. By 2060, it is expected that Hispanic population will surge more than 128 million. African American consumers, there are more than 42 million consumers, having a total annual buying power of more than $1 trillion. About the Asian American consumers, we know that they number more than 18 million, with an annual buying power of more than $1 billion. There are diverse groups including Chinese Americans, Filipinos, Asian Indians, Vietnamese, Korean American, and Japanese Americans. Finally, the social class is relatively permanent and order divisions in a society whose members share similar values, interests, and behavior. It is measured as a combination of occupation, income, education, wealth, and other variables. Marketeers are interested in social class because people within a given class tend to exhibit similar buying behavior. In this figure you can see the social classes split into 4 categories. You can pause the video and look at each one individually. So far we looked at the cultural factors that influence the buying behavior of the consumers. Secondly, we'll look at the social factors. Social factors are represented by the consumer groups, social networks, family, and social roles and status. Groups are important because they influence a person's behavior. That direct influence is called membership behavior. Reference groups is the contrast when indirect points of comparison from a person's attitudes or behavior. It is important to remember that groups and reference groups can create pressure to conform that may affect a person but can also have a powerful impact on consumer behavior through word-of-mouth influence, also called buzz marketing. The online social networks are online communities where people socialize or exchange information and opinions. They range from blogs and message boards to social media sites and virtual worlds. Most brands have built a comprehensive social media presence. Family members can strongly influence buyer behavior because the family is the most important consumer buying organization in a society. At the moment, researchers try to understand the roles and influence of the husband, wife, and children on the purchase of the different products and services. Finally, regarding the roles and status, a person belongs to many groups: family, clubs, organizations, and online communities. People usually choose products appropriate to their roles and status. The third category of factors that influence the buying behavior of the consumers are the personal factors. Personal factors refer to personal characteristics such as the buyer's age and life cycle stage, occupation, economic situation, lifestyle, and personality and self-concept. The age and life cycle stage refers to the changes in goods and services people do in buying behavior over their lifetime. The relevant life stages result from demographics and life-changing events such as marriage, having children, purchasing a home, divorce, changes in income, or retirement. The classification considers factors such as age, education, income, occupation, family composition, ethnicity, housing, lifestyle, and free time activities. The occupation is important because the marketeers try to identify the occupational groups that have an above average interest in their products and services. The economic situation is important because marketeers watch trends in spending, personal income, savings, and interest rates. The lifestyle involves measuring consumers' major AEO's dimensions, and those are activities such as work, hobbies, shopping, sport and social events, interests, food, fashion, family or recreation, and opinions about themselves, about the social issues, or about businesses and products. The personality and self-concept refers to the unique psychological characteristics that distinguish a person or group. One researcher has identified 5 brand personality traits. Sincerity, down to earth, honest, wholesome and cheerful. Excitement, daring, spirited, imaginative and up to date. Competence, reliable, intelligent and successful. Sophistication, glamorous, upper class and charming. And ruggedness, outdoorsy and tough. The last important category of factors that influence the buying behavior of the consumers are the psychological factors. There are 4 important actors when we talk about the psychological factors, and those are the motivation, perception, learning, and beliefs and attitudes. Let's look at each one individually. The motivation is a need that is sufficiently pressing to direct the person to seek satisfaction of the need. Sigmund Freud assumed that people are largely unconscious about the real psychological forces shaping their behavior. His theories suggest that not even the person fully understands his subconscious decisions. The other theory is formulated by Abraham Maslow. This figure is Maslow's answer to human needs, and they are arranged in a hierarchy from the most pressing at the bottom to the least pressing at the top. They include psychological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. Perception is the process by which people select, organize, and interpret information to form a meaningful picture of the world. There is selective distortion that describes the tendency of people to interpret information in a way that will support what they already believe, and there is selective retention, meaning that consumers are likely to remember good points made about a brand they favor and forget good points about competing brands. Learning refers to the changes in an individual's behavior arising from experience, and beliefs and attitudes refer to. Beliefs refer to a descriptive thought that a person holds about something. Attitudes refer to a person's consistently favorable or unfavorable evaluations, feelings and tendencies toward an object or an idea. These have been all the important factors that influence the buying behavior of the consumer. As a sum up, there are 4 important factors. We talk about the cultural factors, about the social factors, personal and psychological factors, and all these actors influence the consumer, so this means that it enters their subconscious in the black box, and from the black box, from the subconscious, they influence the buyer's response and their buying process and buying behavior. Now that you understand all the factors that influence the buying behavior, we will start looking at the buying decision behavior. This was everything for this video. I hope this video helped you to understand that there are multiple factors and dimensions that influence the decision buying behavior of the consumers. We have the cultural factors, the social factors, the personal and psychological factors, and all of them influence our buying decision behavior. If you'd like to learn more about this topic, I've created separated videos on the following topics: the consumer buying behavior, the buying decision process, and you can watch an at-length video where you can learn everything about the consumer buying behavior. If you want to watch those videos, you can find them in the info cards right here, or check the links down in the description. One more thing, if you are a fresh entrepreneur or you want to open or you just opened your very first company, you might want to have a manual for creating your business plan. And more than a business plan, you might want to create a communication strategy and a marketing strategy for your company. Well, in this case, I've already helped you. In the links down below in the description, you will find a link with a manual on how to create your personalized business plan that can be applied on any type of company, for any type of product and any type of service. And only by filling in that manual and completing the notebook, you will create a personal marketing strategy, a personal communication strategy, and a business plan for your company. Also, if you may want to thank me for this video, you might buy me a coffee. I run on a lot of coffee to create these videos, to do the informational search for the video, to film it, to edit it. If you want to do that, there is a link down in the description below. And also, as a new feature, you can now join my channel. You can subscribe to my channel, and it of course helps that if you subscribe to the channel, if you like the video, or if you comment in the comment section down below, because you know how YouTube algorithm is nowadays. This was everything for this video. Check the other ones on my channel, and I will see you at the next one.